record, share screen, entire screen, save, and turn on my, welcome Vanessa. Turn on the document. So this is page, so if you look at your Google, you don't have to look at the Google quiz, but on the Google quiz, there's 4 questions, but they're in 4 different places because we really went through 4 different chapters, basically, right? So this is the chapter on the parallelogram, right? And the quiz is on page 734. Here, let me zoom in on this. You like it when it's zoomed? It's easier to read, right? Okay, so this is page 734, and this is the chapter on parallelograms. So the question I gave you was this one, which was 13. So it says, Beth is creating a flag for an art project. The flag is rectangular with 2 parallelograms of the same dimensions as seen in the diagram. Which formula can you use to find the area of the shaded region? Right, so you're talking about this shaded region here, and you've got 2 parallelograms right here. So you have to look. So if you remember, your area for a parallelogram, right, is area is equal to base times height, right? So you have to look at this and figure out which one is the right one, right? So if you look at it, area is length times width. So what they're looking at is they're getting all the area, and then they're subtracting. They're trying to subtract these 2 parallelograms, but you have to figure out whether they're telling you the correct dimensions, right? Because it's base times height. So you have to, is y a base? Is h height? Anyway, you have to look at those 4 and decide which one is the correct one. Yes? Page 734. So your first question in your Google quiz is this one, 734, question number 13. That's the only one. That's the only one in this chapter. So then if you go on to triangles, right? So you go to triangles.
Mr. Teague?
Yes?
Yeah. I have to go.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say that I can't be here for the rest of the day too.
Okay. And who's this? Sam?
Sam.
Okay. Okay, Sam. Thank you. Thought that was Sam, but I wasn't expecting him to show up. Okay. So this is page 746. Number 14 is your second question on your Google quiz. Okay. It says the figure below represents a swimming pool. A rope is attached from point A to point C. So they have a rope from here to here. And the triangle ABC will be designated adult swimming. So this will be considered adult swimming. Okay. What is the area of the adult swimming region? Okay. So what you're looking for is the area of a triangle, right? So your formula for the area of a triangle is area is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. So you have to look at your diagram, find your base, find your height, and take half of it. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so then question number 3 is about the trapezoids. What page is that? That's page 758. Okay, and it's number 16. It says the figure on the grid, whoops, I'm sorry. The figure on the grid represents the floor of an office. Each square on the grid represents 2 units. So each one of these is equal to 2 units. Which expression represents an area of the floor that is twice this size? Okay, so your trapezoid, right? So your formula for a trapezoid is A area is equal to 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so you have to find the area of this and multiply it by 2. But remember that each one of these has the value of 2. Right? So you have to find your base 1, base 2. So like, for example, this would be 2, 4, 6, 8. This would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay? So just remember each one has a value of 2. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Okay. Then the next one, we didn't actually go over volume, but we've talked about it. We talked about it with the Rubik's Cube, right? And volume is length times width times height. And you have 3 dimensions, length, width, height. What are they calling it? Let's see what they call it. Sometimes the book calls it different things. Well, okay. So volume of a rectangle prism, and they call it a prism because it has 3 dimensions to it, is the length, the width, and the height. Okay, a 3-dimensional figure has length, width, and height, like your Rubik's Cube, right? Your Rubik's Cube has 3 dimensions. It's 3D, right? If you drew a square on a piece of paper, that would be 2D, right? Just 2 dimensions. 3-dimensional figure has length, width, and height. A prism is a 3-dimensional figure with 2 parallel bases and a congruent figures. Bases that are congruent figures. So what they're saying is, if this was an aquarium, this is congruent with this. And this is congruent with that. And this face is congruent to the back face. In a rectangular prism, the bases are congruent rectangles. Volume is the amount of space inside a 3-dimensional figure. It is measured in cubic units, which can be written using the abbreviations or equivalent of 3, such as units to the 3rd power or inches to the 3rd power. Okay? Okay. So the question number, the 4th question on your quiz is on page 766. Question number 15. The figure is a box full of cereal. In a case of 24 boxes, so you have 24 boxes, are filled, how much cereal is there in all? So your volume is equal to length times width times height, but then you have 24 of those. So you have to find your volume. This is your length, this is your width, this is your height. And then once you get the volume for this one box, this is just one box, right? You're going to have to multiply by 24. And they already have your, so it's cubic inches. Okay. What time do we have? 1:41? Yep. So once you take the rest of the period, see if you can finish this. So you have to move a few pages, but I have it in my Google form, what question and what page it is. Okay. And then, of course, you know, you got your packet stuff, but most of you have done that. And you have a head puzzle. Yes, sir.
I missed. I was trying to get my book out and missed setting up us for that part too.
So, okay, so we're trying to find the area of this whole square, right? And as you notice, so we're just interested in this shaded area.
Yeah.
So if you notice, these are parallelograms, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to look, you don't have to do any math, you're just looking at it. So area, we know length, so what they're doing is they're looking at the whole square, so area is equal to length times width. But then we're gonna have to subtract the spaces for these two. So you have to know the formula for a parallelogram,
Okay.
right? So you just find the right formula that will get you there. Okay.